Hey guys, welcome to another episode of your favorite online YouTube show, The Get Through Show. Guys, we want to thank you for always staying tuned with us. We want to thank you for having our back. So today is another day, another episode, and the topic is really tricky, is funny, is heartbroken. Why do women find DNA offensive? Why do women find DNA offensive? Guys, it's gonna be a lot, and I think, the right person that is gonna expatiate this together with every one of us. So stay right there, don't touch that down. Welcome back, guys. Thank you for staying tuned. We're about to get into the topic of the day. And before we go into the topic, you guys know I have familiar faces in the studio. On my far left, it's your boy Victor Lebanon Ice. And on my immediate left, it's your girl Yoli. Open brackets, Aisha, close bracket. Aisha, okay. So, guys, the topic, get your pen, get your paper. This guy is about to blow your mind. So, why do women find DNA offensive? Yoli, why do you guys find DNA offensive?
I believe that women find DNA offensive, obviously, because it's also an insinuation that you are saying they have slept with more than one partner. So there's some sort of accusation that comes along with it, and I don't think like anyone feels comfortable with being accused, and obviously then being accused for such a sensitive thing of being promiscuous, because that means they had multiple partners, hence you're not sure that is your child. So I feel like they find offense to that, and it's a sensitive issue because obviously they're being accused of sleeping with more than one partner, or cheating in that relationship, or whatever the case might be. So that's why they find it offensive. I mean, it is offensive, especially if a woman knows that they haven't been sleeping with more than one partner, and you want to pull up a DNA.
And does this uh, uh, come as not being faithful? Does this
Yes.
come as like trust not being established in the?
Exactly. That's why they actually feel ashamed, because it drags along all those other things, that they're unfaithful, there's no trust in the relationship, um, obviously insecurity coming from the men's side. Like there's a whole lot of things. Not to say that women don't cheat, but obviously that would be the reason why they feel ashamed about DNAs. I mean, why would we bring someone up on a DNA panel? Because there was something sneaky that had taken place.
Vic, do you think 2022? Why do you think men are asking for DNA in 2022?
Because they're sleeping with more than one partner, and they feel that their partners are also sleeping with more than one partners, and they feel the need to ask for DNA.
Vic, is that true?
Okay, like everybody knows and sees what is going on now, right? There's too much infidelity.
What is going on? Yes.
What is going on is, you remember, we guys, we kind of excluded because there is no reason for a woman to ask us for a DNA test. If let's say if we are
Oh yes, yeah, because you don't carry the
I don't
child.
yeah, you get my point. So we kind of excluded in a bit. Not like guys don't cheat, right? They do. But when it comes to a woman with a child,
Yeah, that's
always
evidence that
occurs
they cheat.
yes. So, but now, the fact that we always ask for this DNA test doesn't mean, to me, to my own understanding, it doesn't mean um, there's that all the women are not faithful, right? It doesn't mean um, my wife or my girlfriend is not faithful, but because of doubts of things that are happening, you know.
When you see
I've
the
seen-
child, where
I've
do you
seen-
picking
I've
up the
seen-
doubt
The doubt is
in the child's appearance?
even on social media, right? There is people that you hear this story today, you hear that story today, and okay, recently I came across this guy. I think he got 4 kids. The first one is 17, the other one is 13, the other one is 10, and the other one is 6. Now imagine from 17 to 6-year-old son, none is his. And he's staying with this woman. Do you know how he found out? They went to Home Affairs to do the travel document, passports, and all that, and they have to ask him to bring the DNA test showing that the kids is his, but all those things, man, the documented whatever. So that's when he knew none of these kids was his.
So Vic, what what you're trying to say now is we are asking for the DNA because of the happenings around the environment.
Now, remember during olden days, my mother's maybe they're cheating, but it was not too much for people to ask for DNA. I don't know if you get my point.
Technology is not that expensive.
Yes. And the things that is happening now and then, it's kind of different. It's very too much now. I don't know if you get my point.
Yeah.
Too much infidelities, too much married women jumping to young guys. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm making sense to you guys, but this is actually the truth. What is happening? Do you get what I mean? So in that case, I would say, why would you even want to cheat without using protection, knowing fully well you married? I'm now talking as a woman, because remember I said earlier, we are guys. There's nothing you're doing DNA for us for. There's no cause for alarm. Guys are cheating. I don't know if you get my point. But as a woman, if you get to the point whereby
I want to answer that question that you want to ask. Why when you know that you are in a relationship and you go and cheat in another relationship and not use protection?
and then now you okay, let's say you have a genuine child with me, and then the next one is not mine. Without me knowing, and then the third one is ours. So you get to the point whereby we have to do some certain documentations that requires the 3 kids to pass through DNA. I don't know if you're getting my question.
Yeah.
And then now I have to know that the third one is not mine. So remember, if I tell my friends, if I tell my family, also they have that mentality of, oh, I have to check mine also. I have to do this also. I have to do that also.
No.
Okay,
Can I first answer the question that I want to
yeah.
answer the question that he has? Okay. Why do people cheat when they're in marriage and they don't use protection? That's because their sexual desire, right, overpowers their principles, and that's why somebody does that. At that time, the lust and the desire of wanting to have what they want does not level up to the amount of principles they have and the respect they have for their partner.
Why are you not telling your partner that you're carrying a child that is not his?
No, but remember, you also don't know when you are doing the deed that you're gonna get pregnant.
Okay, I've seen a quote. A girl wrote, if you're pregnant and you give birth, and you have multiple partners, find the rich one, and place the bet on him. Have you seen that?
Okay, but
Have you seen that?
Actually, I want us to stay on the topic right now because now I don't want to talk about women who deliberately or indeliberately takes a child and give to the wrong father. Those are wicked people. Those are. But now, Yoli, now this brings me to now. I understand it that like you said earlier, that it's kind of difficult. It's uncomfortable for you to ask a woman to do a DNA test. But now, okay, Yoli. So let's fast forward to what is happening now. Let's fast forward to how the world has gone wild in terms of the news we heard every day, and now even these days it's coming to our doorstep. These things are happening to someone we know. Do you think majority of women now should now soft pedal in terms of consider, couple with what is happening around the world right now, couple with the stories of when we realize that a father can father 3 children, and at the end of the day realize that only one belongs to him after so many years. He has suffered, he has emotional and all of that, to say, okay, because of the bad wagons in our midst, can we just soft pedal on this aspect of normalizing when a man says, okay, can we just go do DNA? The same way we can just say, okay, babe, can we just go do a HIV test to say, oh, let's just, before knowing ourselves, can we just go do an HIV test where it's actually not an issue? Can we normalize it?
Are you asking if we can normalize doing it normally?
Yeah, if the women can, yeah.
Well, I'm going to explain a few things, right? So we have like three generations, right? So the older generation, which is our parents, not our parents even, like before our parents, right? Their generation, when they used to experience things like that, where a wife gives birth to a child that is not from the family, right? The husband would actually try to hide that shame, right? And would know this is not my child, but I don't want society to see that, so I'm gonna take this child as mine. And they deal with that. Well, those people were very strong. Hey, they could handle like some real hardcore stuff, and they still. That child never knows that they're not from that house. And often then, in their time, that was the debate, when the child eventually finds out and would be upset with them. And the father would have known, but they would have tried to hide the dignity of the family, right? Then our parents, the middle generation, right? Because they were exposed to those things and they found them that these things are actually toxic. They're actually not good. They don't work. Things should be spoken about. Things should be called out for what they are. You know what I mean? Then they were naive to the situation. So most of the time, they found a way. Infidelity still happened, but they found a way to hide those things. And that is the fruit now that is happening, that we see now, after in so many years, because it's their generation, that it was during their time, right? Then you find out all of a sudden, oh my goodness, I've got 3 children, one of the child is not mine. Because fast forward, the technology is advanced, so it comes out quickly. That it's something that happened in the previous generation. In our generation now, Dave, I don't want to lie, I don't think the discussion of normalizing DNA is difficult, because we all know we have multiple partners. We know that we're sleeping around. The issue is very much laid down now. It's no more sensitive. They've unsensitized sensitive things. This generation is harsh. It's bold. It communicates, it over communicates. They're sexually driven. They know they're having multiple partners. They're even switching themselves amongst each other. You understand? So the issue of us debating DNA becoming a normality would be so easy. And I think we're even moving towards that direction, to answer you.
I need to understand something now, Yuli. If you say we've normalized it, so what you're trying to say to me now is majority of the female right now will understand if a guy comes to say, will not be upset, will not feel betrayed if a guy comes to say, I want a DNA.
No, and also, before it even gets there, the majority of the generation now will tell you spot on, this is not your child. In that relationship. This generation today, Dave, I don't know if you've experienced them, watch social media, look how they are. They're brave.
Not all. Not all, because
if it's not the 2000s, then if you're saying not all, we're not talking about the same generation. That means you're talking about the generation previous to that.
No, it's this generation, because most women, they will even tell you, you better don't tell him. Because the reason why I'm saying this, I've seen...
Remember, Dave, in our generation, there's so many things. Abortion is very quickly. It's easy. Yes. We have access. We have access to everything. So it doesn't even get to that point. You know what I mean? Also, we have access to everything that our scans, the things that we use to test that we're pregnant, can actually tell when you've conceived that child. That's how advanced we are. You can get a pregnancy test, Dave, that tells you conceived this child 3 days ago. You go back, you're like, oh, who was I with 3 days ago? Oh, this is the father. Then you mark it out.
Okay, now,
not this generation, Dave. Maybe the generation previous, maybe our generation, but not the 2000s.
I'm saying, okay. So if you think ladies these days, they do tell, if you in a, okay, let's say,
if they're not going to tell you, they're going to find out themselves.
To David, right? You guys have first child, the second one is not his, and then you're telling me that you can boldly tell him that this is not yours, right? Okay, fine. You telling him that this child, the second one, is not yours. What's your take? Like, why do you even feel relaxed that you can tell him without knowing, or are you telling him?
Hence, I said the situations are very different. Okay, I said that's what we're dealing with the generation now. They're strong, they're bold, and not all of them. We're talking about the majority.
The reason why I'm asking you is
so that I don't want us to. I just want you guys to be you guys to be spot on. I don't want us to wait. I'm coming.
To ask her, why is it a problem?
Okay, I'm going to now narrow it down to you now.
answered your
Yes,
question though,
and
right?
I need to understand that. Look, we are not Vic. I want us to bracket it and mask it quickly so that we can just move on to other things. Yoli is not. First of all, you need to track back to in the generation that Yoli is talking about now. How many how many marriages or how many union or how many people are struggling with someone having to father a child that is not his? In this generation that she is talking about now, it's lesser than the middle generation, way lesser. So if you have understood that now, then where we are at right now is this, that Yoli is saying that right now, even before it gets to a point where a guy in this season, in this age, would have fathered a child that is not his, the girls of these days will tell you spot on that, look,
Yes.
I'm pregnant, but this pregnancy doesn't belong to you.
Yes.
Now, it is not in your own mind. If you say you want to go have the child with the person, come back to me, or I want to end things. So now, Yoli, where I'm actually going right now is this, that it is actually important, and it's spot on what you said, that the generation of now will tell you spot on. So now, if that is the case, now, how do we now navigate in terms of not hurting each other in the process of trying to make this
Good,
happen?
because that's what I wanted to ask also.
Okay, guys, we all know, right, that this generation, I don't know if you've experienced it, but this is what, according to my experience, right? They don't believe, they have an idea of what love is, but they don't believe in ancient love. They don't reason on emotions. This generation, they for wealth, they for money, they for lifestyle, they for travel,
The vibe.
they for a vibe, they for an instant connection. You can't tell me this is the same generation where they're going to cater to what your emotions feel like. This is the generation that tells you, oh, I like this guy, he likes me, but he doesn't have money. That's the conversation that they're having right now. He's not going to take me to Joburg. He's not going to take me out and do this. I fall more in love with this one because I'm in a hype when I'm with this other one. It does not matter whether this other one genuinely loves me as much as that other one loves me. You know what I mean? The fact that he can genuinely provide those things when I need them is good enough for me. And that is the love that I want, and that's the love that I deserve. And we're also saying that's wrong. No, that's their self-worth. That's the love they feel they deserve. If I'm a Yoli who wants to relate emotionally and wants this other guy who has no money because they can emotionally love me, that's the love I relate to. They have no business in that. You understand? That is my self-worth. So I should stick to my lane and they should stick to their lane. So what I'm saying, my lane is less right now. It's hardly that you find it where somebody reasons on emotions. Because they're already reasoning on their lane, where you know what our relationship was built on. It's easy for them to communicate those kind of things and to tell you, Dave, this is not your child. We had sex the other day, and I had sex with this other person the following day. This is their child.
I understand. You really nailed it. But now I ask you one question. Why now do some women find it offensive when you say, can we go for a DNA for this child?
Whoever finds it,
No, I understand. No, I understand.
No, I get
Not
you.
all.
I'm gonna answer, not all. Obviously,
Not all.
one in
That's what I'm
20.
asking.
You're
So
right,
if-
and there is that
if
one
she's-
in
she's
20.
explaining to us
Yes.
about this
Can
this
I
generation.
explain- can I
There's
answer your
also in
question?
this generation that
Yes.
doesn't want to hear it at all.
I know. And that's 1 in 20. So we're going to discuss that 1 in 20 now. And I get you. And I'm going to answer you in that. When somebody feels offended when you're asking them for a DNA, right? That is the person who actually values your emotions, right? They're sensitive to the fact that you think that they were having an affair during your time. That's the person who's considerate of your feelings.
Let's not put during our time because we're married. Let's say couples that are staying together.
Yeah, obviously, you obviously don't want to get caught that you were cheating. So they're going to be ashamed.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
So
and there are
eventually-
those people, they're married people in our generation that still want to carry out that family life and all those things, and they still cheat, And most of them, I mean, especially if you watch these these 2000 also, because they do get married, and some of them, like you say, they do relate on emotions and they want to have love and build a family or whatever, but they still cheat. And most of them also, you'd find that they're in the public eye, all right? because they showcase their families and stuff, because it's actually now having a family is like the in thing, like you've made it in life. You know what I mean? Just securing a household is like you got a degree of something. You know what I mean? So that's how our society views us now. So they showcase it and we see them, they influences and all these things, and they show their beautiful families, which we also tend to love and enjoy. But when infidelity comes there, then in those situations, right, that's when the woman shies away from getting a DNA. They get offended, you know, they would rather leave the marriage than to actually be in that spot that she's had an outside relationship in a marriage that looked to be happy and healthy.
I wish we can normalize, like they said, if
No,
it's gonna
in that
be easy.
situation, you can't normalize DNA. Nobody will normalize. That's not normal.
Okay, but really,
Might as well just tell them not to get married.
now that we don't have much time. So now, what are the factors that contribute to where we are right now?
Dishonesty
True.
is the biggest factor. Also being, also trying to stay in a relationship for external reasons rather than love, because people cheat because something somewhere in the crust of whatever it is they had a union of broke. You see, so, or someone maybe is cheating because they have issues that are rooted deep down in them, in those healthy marriage relationships. So I think, unfortunately, we just have to face into whatever it is that's eating off there, because that's the only reason people would go and have an out.
Why should they even be like
relationship
someone not using protection in that kind of scenario?
In this generation, Vic, do you think we are practicing the word love in our relationship, in whatever we do?
No ways, because these days, this thing of love, people are basing it on some other things. You know, when someone feel like because you're taking care of her, that's love to her side. I don't know if you get my point. Hence, you can provide. That's the way she love you.
Yes.
The day you stop, everything stops. There's people, like you said, emotionally, they don't want you to feel like I don't love you. She genuinely love you, but you're not up to that standard where you can provide whatever she wants.
And what factors contribute to that?
Self-pity. People can feel pity because of, you know, when a girl is feeling pity on you, I don't want him to feel like I don't love him. But she's just sticking around because she don't want you to feel like there's no love. Instead of things to be open, like, I think we're done. Simple and clear. You move on, I move on. But sticking around because you're feeling self-pity, you're feeling how this person will feel.
Sorry.
I don't know if you get my point.
I watched this other clip, one of these reality shows, and the lady that was being interviewed there left her husband because she said that her husband, she said she was worried that she's going to get her husband to be bankrupt or broke because he wasn't able to sustain the level where she saw that she's going. So she decided to end the marriage on a healthy note, that where I see myself and where I'm going, I might make you not be able to sustain your lifestyle, because the things that I want are way bigger than us.
How old were they married for?
I'm not too sure how long they were married for, but yeah, no, I didn't get how long they were married for, but they're a prominent couple.
But Dave, do you get it?
But,
But do you get it?
Yeah, but I'm
Wait, Dave, that shows you the things we're passing through now. Because if you think about what we're saying, it's only this generation that can be able to be bold enough to say that to a husband. Because why? You don't want to grow with him. You felt like you're going to draw him, you're going to weigh him down because of your lifestyle, because of where you're heading to. Now, where are you heading to without you guys carrying each other along?
Like Vic, my thing majorly is I was way looking at if you guys are gonna nail it on the head in terms of, I think majority of the things that we're experiencing now is caused by women. Should take huge responsibility in a way that you need to understand emotional intelligence. If you are gonna sustain a woman to stay with you, you have to financially be well for you to sustain a woman, then you should know that that person doesn't belong to you. You need to begin to now start counting your loss, if there is a word like that, to know that, look, where I'm heading right now, because if there is a fake product selling, which means there are fake consumers who are patronizing it. So if I'm at a point where the financial stage that I'm in right now cannot sponsor the lifestyle that Yoli wants to live, it, wisdom tells me that I need to cut off right there and there, because if I don't stop it now,
We're talking about marriage here. We're talking
in what you're
we-
saying, and I'll tell you why. Well, you have a point, right? But I think the point where you think that it's the woman's fault that it
I
is
didn't
like
say-
that. No, you said women should take responsibility.
I
That's
said men, we.
Oh, okay.
No, I said men. Yeah. I said everything we're going through now, men should take responsibility for it.
I thought you said a woman should
Okay,
take responsibility
Tunji, I want
for
to
it.
counter
Oh,
that. I want to
okay.
counter that in a way that what you're saying is actually kind of somehow diverted, because why? If you are you married someone, you're in the same house, you married.
Marriage now, Vic. I don't want us to. No, I don't want us to box it. I don't want us to box it. I'm saying, what can we do to not feed this kind of woes and all these things happening? Is this a man literally understand, and it is so useless and sad in our generation now that a man wants to spite another man. And why you want to spite another man is because you think you are financially better than the person. In terms of Yoli, this is my reality where I am at this point. I cannot be with a lady that I have to make her love me because of what I give to her. So the moment I realize that the reason why I'm here, this is not where I want to be, I need to pull out.
Correct.
Without thinking the lady is without thinking the lady is a gold digger. Like you said, and you made a profound statement. Everybody has a choice to aspire and desire the life they want.
Correct.
It is for you to understand that where this person is going is not where I'm going.
Correct.
Which brings me back to the same couple you just spoke about now. I promise you, this guy might have seen the signs during courtship or relationship, but he ignored, thinking the money that I've saved to get a project in 2 years, a woman will make me spend that money to go buy her to go do some traveling that I cannot, that she can post on the Instagram and just also satisfy your fetishness. I'm not supposed to be with such person. So men need to start taking responsibility, because we patronizing this kind of a thing. You cannot earn more. You begin to buy the girl a bag, a lifestyle you cannot. And at the end of the day, they said a woman that you win with money, you will never finish paying till the rest of your life.
It's true.
So we need to start taking responsibility. And I really wish we had so much time. And I understand what you two said. In this generation now, asking for DNA needs to be normalized, because it's all around the place.
It's just revolving.
And it's headed that direction. So which means I can be dating a person and we got married and we have our first baby and I ask for a DNA, which also I don't think DNA involves the mother. What I'm trying to say is, if I want a DNA, I may literally not even tell my wife that I want to go and do a DNA. The child is mine. I can go buy the child sweet and then take and I think it's more sophisticated now that the saliva from the child can just be taken and go.
Tunji, you know why I couldn't go with what you said? It's better for her to know. You know why? If, let's say, if you cheated, we have a child that is not ours, and then I said to you, I want us to go for a DNA, and you reacted somehow. You knew deep down it's not my child. I think is a scenario whereby we should be talking about it in between us.
What's the intention? You want to sort out things?
Wait, I'm gonna come there. Than me going out there without your knowledge, knowing fully well the child is not mine. Now, how am I gonna face you? I don't know if you get my
That's what I'm
point.
saying.
Because
What's
you,
the intention?
yes, because
Your
I'm talking
initial
about what he said. So Dave, you went there to do the DNA. You come back to Yoli and said, I find out this child is not ours. Or you want to go there to do what?
I don't care what the result is now. All I'm saying is, at this point in time, you don't need the mother or anybody to do DNA. So I'm saying, hold on.
Without her, what do you want to achieve? What do you want to achieve?
You're not getting my point now. Okay, Vic, let me make it. This is simple. We don't have to go deep. I'm saying, if me and Yoli were an item, Yoli have a baby for me. If I'm unsure, instead of taking Yoli through, let's say Yoli is an emotional, instead of taking Yoli through the emotional drainage and whatever that is pumping there. I can put a tissue in the child's mouth, get a saliva, go get a test done. If the doctor said it's mine, all well and good. If the doctor said it's not, I come to you, look, this child, I found out that this child is not mine. Simple and short.
And
So
you make a
and I
decision.
make a decision right there and there. So
What's your intention?
yeah, so nobody
You
needs
wanna
to,
leave?
or you want to stay.
You want to stay?
Same applies when you are aware that we are going. Is it not same thing?
No, that's what
Anyways,
he's
I have
cutting
this
out the
story.
emotional.
Bro,
Yes.
every man should learn emotional intelligence. There are so many things that does not have to skyrocket that we take. It's just sense.
Now, Tunji, do you know that whatever we are saying here, whatever people out there are hearing or saying or hearing elsewhere, is not gonna change the fact that there will still be infidelity. There will still be.
the turmoil.
So
like we're
that's
not going
why-
to sit and have this discussion now about,
Yes, that's why
oh,
I-
do you
that's
think
why
I
for
cheated?
me-
Do you think that? No, we were
That's why
just
for
going
me-
to
that's
iron
why-
out
that's why for
and
me-
make a decision.
For me, I still believe in what Tunji said. If we can actually normalize it nicely, whereby it's not gonna be a problem, whereby
Do you
you
want a woman to go through an emotional wreck of you taking her, involving her in a DNA, and at the end of the day, the child is, and then the race is a child.
For me personally, I don't want to go there. You know why? I think if the young lads, if this generation can be able to, like, I don't know, man, put a bit caution of what they're doing. You can hold someone. You can hold someone. You can say to someone, don't cheat, don't go out, don't do this, don't do that. But when you're doing those things, can you pity other people? We're human beings,
Who
man.
is patronizing? Who is patronizing the girls that we are talking about? Who is patronizing the kind of women? It's us.
Ladies, use protection so that you don't bring this kind of scenario in the house. Do you get what I mean? Because you can't stop it. But we can't stop it. But we can't stop it. Yes, we can stop it. But at the end of the day, can you guys please?
Guys,
One guy shot the wife, shot the kids, 3 kids, shot himself. Someone is coming by the door. I don't know who. Shot the person
I don't
too.
even want to talk about people who are wicked.
And he left a note.
Yeah,
He left a note.
If anybody
The kids are
kills-
not mine.
If anybody, but the thing is, if anybody come to a state, that's I don't even want to talk about bad people today. The people who can be greedy and dangerous to make you father a man father another person's child. Those are stupid issues. I found out that medically, it can happen like 1 in 2,000. I'm not talking about the medical one, but people who knows that you just let a man raise another man's child without him knowing, that is useless on the side. Guys, thank you so much for your time. We hope you've learned 1 or 2 or 3. If you're out there, like Yoli said, we should normalize a DNA. So guys, thank you so much. We'll see you guys soon.
So I feel like in any situation that you find yourself in, I think it's best that you over communicate, with your partner, and also I do believe that we should, within communication, right, we should try other things to find a smoother landing in how we deliver things. I think the issue on DNA, it should stem not directly like, let's go do a DNA, It should start from a healthy conversation and say, have we been faithful in this relationship? Do you feel that, in any ways there's something that I need to find out, that I need to know? You know what I mean? So we can ease the talk, and then eventually you'll find with the person, if the person feels guilty of something, they're also going to address matters. It's a healthy communication way. I think if we normalize having healthy conversations amongst each other, and we'll get to the sensitive topics of we're having to realize that, babe, this child actually might not happen to be yours, because at that period of time, we were in a situation where we weren't talking with each other, and this is what I did to find comfort in everything else. And I think if we get to that point, speaking about DNAs and everything else would come easy.
Wow, that's so profound. And guys, I just want to also, our medical and health organization to try and help us to make the DNA, cheap, accessible for every household to be able to, have the test. So guys out there, you guys have heard it from this guys that DNA should be, it's something that we should talk about. It's something that we should be aware. It's something that, with the whole worrisome and stuff happening around us right now, it gets to a point where, actually sometimes we feel like having it done. So thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate you. We want to thank you for staying tuned. We hope you've learned one or two things. Until the next episode, please don't find it any offensive. Shout out to God.
Subscribe, like, comment.
And also do everything you can to tell a friend to tell a friend.
Thank you.
Bye.